Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone from whom I learned this truth. And Shalom to the 144,000 elect. I am Ayakala. And the name of this one will be, we are dependent on Yahweh. Well, Yahweh Shai. Wow, meaning and. We are dependent on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And I first want to look up this word dependent. And this is just according to Google. It says dependent, and it can be spelled with an E. I've seen it spelled with an A also, but in this instance it's being spelled with an E. And it says in both American and British English, it says for the noun, a person supported financially. British England often uses dependent with an A, so okay. While the American English commonly uses dependent with an E. Alright, this says dependent means, when used as an adjective, means reliant, contingent, or influenced by someone or something. It says, an example says the result is dependent on testing. So it says dependent, it says, when used as a noun, it says a person who relies on another for support, such as a child or a spouse. So in this case, being used as an adjective, meaning reliant or contingent or influenced. All right, and our deliverance from this condition that we are in right now is contingent on the day of the Lord, when Yahweh Shai returns to destroy this place. And I pray that I'm among those who will be saved out of this. But even if I'm not, I still know that our salvation comes from Yahweh Shai, meaning He, Yah meaning He, Yahweh Shai delivers. So He delivers the Israelites out of this condition that we currently live in this kingdom. All right. So therefore, the Israelites are dependent on Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai. All right. Because Yahweh Shai will execute Yahweh's plan in the day of the Lord. All right. This elect will be delivered from that fire that's going to consume America and consume other places on this earth as well. With America being consumed and to never be inhabited again. It's going to burn until it burns itself out. All right. The heathen will go into captivity in the kingdom, and the Israelites, with the elect being a governing body, the Israelites will be delivered from this hellish condition that we exist in under this kingdom. And I just have a few verses that I wanted to bring out to back that statement up of us being, the Israelites being dependent on Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai. I'm going to go to 2 Chronicles chapter 20, and I'm going to start at verse 12, and this is the Israelites being, and I believe in particular in this instance, it's the southern kingdom being ruled by King Jehoshaphat, and the Assyrians going against the Syrian army, that army coming to go up against the southern kingdom. All right. I'm going to start at verse 12. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 12. It says, "O our power, will thou not judge them?" Talking about the Syrians. It says, "For we have no might against this great company that cometh against us, neither know we what to do, but our eyes are upon thee." So the Israelites don't know what to do in the instance of coming upon this great army. All right, and they're looking to Yahweh, or Yahawashi, to lead them through this battle. Verse 13, it says, "And all Judah stood before the Lord Yahweh with their little ones, their wives, and their children." Verse 14 says, "Then upon Jehaziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaiah, the son of Jael, the son of Mattaniah, a Levite of the sons of Asaph, came the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh in the midst of the congregation. And he said, Hearken ye, all Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou, King Jehoshaphat, thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto you, Be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but the Most High's." All right, so we see that the army, the Israelites, were dependent upon the word of Yahweh, that he said he would come in this, and he would battle, he would take care of this and be with them in this battle against Assyria, showing that the Israelites were dependent on Yahweh in this instance in order to get them through this battle. All right, so I just have a few, so this probably won't be very long. I'm going to go over to Psalms chapter 127. Verse 1 says, "Except the Lord Yahweh build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord Yahweh keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain." And in the NLT it says, "Unless the Lord Yahweh builds a house, the work of the builders is wasted." It says, "Unless the Lord protects a city, guarding it with sentries will do no good." So if the Lord is not watching over you, is not guiding you, and you're not following the instruction of the Lord, anything that you build and put your work behind is going to come to naught unless you're building it according to the instruction of Yahweh, while Yahawashi. All right. The other one that I have is I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 10. In verse 23. Let's see if that's what I really want. Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23. It says, "O Lord Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps." In the NLT it says, "I know, Lord Yahweh, that our lives are not our own." It says we are not able to plan our own course. And there's nothing wrong with you making plans. But you have to pray to the Lord that those plans be according to what He has in store for you, because ultimately you're going to go in the direction of where the Lord's going to guide you. All right, so that you make plans, and if those plans are contrary to what the Lord has in store for you, those plans are going to come to naught. All right, it's all according to what Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has in store for you, and what He has planned for you, and what direction that you're going to go into. Going to John chapter 3. And I'm going down to verse 27. I'm just going to read this one in the NLT. This is John chapter 3, verse 27 in the NLT. It says, John replied, "No one can receive anything unless the Most High gives it from heaven." And that's plain to see what that says there. So I'm not even going to go into explaining it. It says, no one can receive anything unless the Most High gives it from heaven. I'm going to stay in the book of John, and I'm going to go over to chapter 15. I think there's a saying that says, you want to make the Lord laugh, you tell Him what your plans are. All right, because you can make plans, but the Lord knows what's going to be. The Lord knows what's in store for you, because it's ultimately Him that's going to determine what you do, what your plans are, what the outcome of your plans will be. This is Yahweh Shai speaking, because this is in the red letter. So this is John chapter 15, verse 5. It says, I am the vine, ye are the branches. Ye that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. In the NLT it says, yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me, and I in them, will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. So as long as you're staying in the will of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, unless you're staying within His will and doing your best to keep the commandments and do what's instructed of you, anything, any plans, anything that you set forth to do, if you're doing it without Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, it's going to come to naught. All right, you have to keep Him in all your plans and everything that you do, everything that you think of, everything that you go forth to accomplish. You do that in prayer to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And the last one that I'm going to bring out, and then that'll be the end of this, is I'm going to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Let me see. Yeah, chapter 3 and verse 5. I'm going to read this in the NLT also. says, it is not that we think we are qualified to do anything on our own. Our qualification comes from our power. All right? So we are really powerless, all right? And we can do nothing without blessing, without consulting and praying and going to our power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So even in this world, as we go about in this kingdom, all right, of course we do make plans, but those plans cannot be carried out unless this is in accordance to what the Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, has planned for us, has in store for us, all right? So when you make your plans, you be sure that they are in accordance with what the Lord wants you to do. You know, if you're planning to do something where you're just going to act on your own and you're going to go step outside of what you know is right for you to do, if you know you're going to go against the Lord, you might as well plan on falling on your face at some point, because those plans are going to come to naught. All right? Like I said, we are powerless. We can do nothing without Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right? And I pray that this has been edifying to the listener. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.